Oh yeah, hope everybody is having an amazing day out there. CQ the Watch Guy back again. Oh man, feels good to be streaming 2 days in a row. I think we're gonna call the new show The Wind Down with CQ the Watch Guy. Hope everybody's having an amazing day out there. I don't know if I'll get anybody in. I'm starting a little bit late. And basically what this show will be me winding down from a hard day's work. Even though work never sleeps, time never stops when you're in the watch business. If you don't know that, you should know that. Yeah, so this is what we do, Gonna check out some new arrivals. Gonna also check out some new releases out there. I haven't been streaming consistently for a few months. There are a lot of good things to check out. Let's just see. Am I streaming? Yeah, I'm streaming. I don't know if you can hear the background music, but we're jamming today in the office. We just have a very good DJ situation going on. Alrighty. Beautiful, beautiful day here in Philadelphia. 70 something degrees, I think. Anyways, let's get it started. I am CQ the Watch Guy. Hope all is well. Been in the watch industry for 15 years. So if you need watch advice, if you never heard about me before, I'm your friendly neighborhood watch guy. I give good watch advice. At least I think it's good. Buy, sell, trade. Happy to help you. If you ever wanna contact me directly, you can reach out to me at CQ at the1916company.com, or you can shoot me a text at 484 484 shoot, I always forget my new phone number. 484 What is up? Producer Vimal in the house. CQ, the next FP Jorn that's currently sub 35,000. Ooh, sub 35,000 is hard. There are a lot of watches that I think, or a few watches I should say, out there that you could probably get, and maybe a miracle could happen. Like people who are into Cardi V pieces, they're doing extremely well. Of course, they're 135,000, but you could probably have picked them up around, not $1 million. Let's say that. Right now, I think it's hard to find something for 35 that's going to do super super well. You could bet on things on like some older Daniel Rods, and maybe in the right situation, those can find some good numbers. But I guess the question is, Vimal, are you looking for explosive growth, or are you okay with something, um, that slowly grows, but there might be a chance you might make a big pop? I think that there's a lot of watches you can bet on, but there will never be another FP Jordan. I say that as I was just having a conversation with somebody who we're talking about a Creevy and Rejepi clearly in a different world. Let me just pull up the auction again. We actually had two auctions that I think ended today. We had the Marteau and Co. and then you had the Sotheby's end today. Let me see if I can get. So that's Sotheby's. Let's give me Marteau and Co. Sorry, just got my tab set up. Hope you had a great dinner last night, producer Vimal. What kind of food did you got? All right, Marteau and Co. is one of the newer kids on the block that have been getting really, really good results for their pieces. And they had a auction that ended this week, their Heat Wave auction, where we saw some really good results, in my opinion. You got a Furlan Marie workshop prototype, 26,400 Swiss franc, including the premium before the taxes. This Pascal Couillon, I've been offered this watch a couple times. I know the person who had it for a while. Pascal Couillon is a Spanish independent, I'm pretty sure. And he makes really, really nice watches. And to see this realized in 51,000 Swiss franc, including premium, really, really nice result for that piece unique there. Erwin Jurgensen, Vimal, you could probably catch one of these somewhere in the 30s, and maybe you'll see some good growth. Nice result there, 60,000 Swiss franc. Let me just look at this. Effijourne CS Knackerdal Mother of Pearl 276,000 Swiss franc. Really, really strong result. I remember like fighting with people at 115, 120 for these watches. Fighting with people. Audio went out again. Testing. Testing. There we go. For some reason, this headphone goes out. Vutolin Piece Unique Regulator Decimal Repeater. A very interesting watch, of course. 1.5 million Swiss franc, not even converted into US dollars. Really, really strong results. I do think, I have a hunch that you're going to see a lot of special Vutolin pieces come on the market all of a sudden. I think the numbers are just too strong. I do think there seems to be a little bit of some motion there in the Kari V, and I don't think it's by Kari V himself. He didn't announce anything weird like him retiring or something like that to all of a sudden have just these crazy results. It's gonna be very, very interesting to see what happens there. Another Vutolin piece, unique 576,000 Swiss franc. Just crazy, crazy results for them. I'm happy for them because, of course, I'm a big fan of the brand, but still, wowzers. Ludovic Balois, another great watchmaker and great person, great story. And he does produce some really great watches. And somebody, if you're looking for a high-end bespoke watch, he'll do some anything. You have to be into the upside down feature, but really, really amazing watches, and he will do like anything you want for them as well. Romain Gautier, another watch brand I was just talking about. I think these guys are just keep getting stronger and stronger. You've seen a Type C, which is kind of his sports watch, doing very, very well out there. What else we got from Marteau and Co? Going for Principia, getting some love. 66,000 Swiss franc. The auctions are strong and people are spending money. DB28 Skybridge Piece Unique, 60,000 Swiss franc. Right in between the estimates, somebody got a good deal there, I think. Then this thing, I think this did way better than a lot of people thought. The between in collaboration with Urwerk, Piece Unique 4 only watch. Really interesting piece, a perfect blend of both makers, I should say. I think 480,000 Swiss franc on that one. Vimal says, how about Philippe Kulik's Zeitwinkel? Really, really love Philippe Kulik. I do think in the long run, I think Felipe is going to be one of the ones because he's taken his time focusing on building a true team of watchmakers to help him support his vision. He's really thinking about customer service, after sales service, all these different things. He also was an independent who started at a lower price point and then inched his way up. You know, he used to start out 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, and then slowly as the pieces got better, as he got more complicated, you see the watches do get higher in retail price, and I think the watchmaking is just outstanding. Felipe is a great watchmaker, and again, I love the way he's setting up the business, and I do think long term he's going to do very, very well. He has a lot of supporters. He doesn't have the big momentum that you're seeing a lot of other watchmakers, but to Vimal's point, if you're looking, if you want to live in speculation world, right? I do think he's younger. I don't think he's even 30 yet. Been doing a lot of stuff on his own, but still willing to get taught by a lot of other people. The watchmaking's getting good, better and better. Not good. It's all watchmaking's always been good, but when I say better, he's challenging himself to do different things. He's finding different ways to solve different complications his way. That's what I mean. He's advancing in his watch making journey, is what I should say. And I do think in the long run, his pieces will get a lot of appreciation from a lot of different markets. So I do like a Felipe Pekulik as an early bet. Look at this Vianney Halter Piece Unique Antiqua, $1 million, 960,000 Swiss franc. Not something I think a lot of people were thinking about when this auction hit. Burn Around Mirage, 216 all in. Those are still doing very, very well in the market. So there is a difference, right, between a company like Burner Rod, who just started with so much oomph and momentum for whatever reason, great support, but also a higher price timepiece. I believe retail was 60 to 80 or something like that, probably closer to 80 when it first came out. versus a Philippe Kulik, doing completely different style of watches, but I'm just going back into that where they start and where you can get access to them, right? You were able to get Philippe Kulik pieces very easily. And now we're in a world where a lot of independents, if they just have just a little bit of hype, you can't get them if you're a normal person, if you're not super connected. And I do feel I feel bad, right, for that collector who lives in a watch desert. Not only in terms of not having a bunch of retailers to visit, like 1916 Company and a bunch of the big dealers out there to go see indies, new or pre-owned, but just community wise, there are a lot of collectors who are just out there living life by themselves, and they see something great on Instagram or wherever, and then they reach out and like sold out for 2 3 years, and you just had to be connected, you just had to be in Switzerland or in socially connected to get these watches. And I do think it's very very tough. Some brands are really pushing to get new collectors, but I do think we are in a tough situation. If you just started collecting this year, how do you get one watch? How do you get a Kyrie Vuitton and you wait 9 years? That's probably the easiest watch to get. You just have a you just have a long wait time. So Marteau and Co, I think they did good. Let's skip over the Sotheby's real quick. Ho ho, we got Thomas Burnett back in the chat. Philippe Kulik is a fantastic watchmaker. I agree. I've met him a couple times in Geneva and Dubai Watches and Wonders last year, or Dubai Watch Week last year. He's very into skeletonized watches at the moment, but his Sternhimmer is great. I agree. He is very into skeletonized watches, and every year he does like a skeletonized. I forgot what he calls it, but every year he does a skeletonized piece. Let's just look at some Pikulik watches. Pikulik. Let's go over this exquisite. Yeah, so very skeletonized with some of his newer stuff, especially like he does. Yeah, the SK24 was the skeleton watch he did for 2024. Um, but as you can see, there's varying price points, right? Can I sort by price? There you go. So you can get into an independent watchmaker, a great independent watchmaker who's on a journey for 9,500 retail. And I think that's great. I think it's good to keep having accessible watches out there. People can get into your brand, they can get into your journey, they can start, right? And I think it's very I don't know the word. It is shallow thinking to be a new brand. I don't care how much heritage you are, unless you're very satisfied on really attacking a high end segment of the market, a very small group of collectors. And I think if you're a newer watchmaker, you should be careful targeting that collector. You should really, you got to earn your stripes. You got to earn your stripes somewhere. You got to really do it. I just look at all the, I just had a great conversation with Michael Friedman and what he's doing, and just to hear the heritage of him and his story and what he did at AP and what he did at the auction houses and helping create Eric Clapton paddocks and curate collections for some amazing people. He knows what he's doing when he wants to produce a watch and sell a watch and make a watch for collectors. And that's okay. But I think if you're a younger watchmaker, come on, give me something I can start with, man. 9,500. I can get into the watch aesthetic. Am I back? I can see if I like your aesthetic and I want to continue on with it. I gotta find out what's making my mic spaz out like that every minute. Anyways, but as you can see, a lot of different price points to attack. Some are gonna be not fully in-house movements, of course. Some are gonna have different levels of finishing depending on your price point, but you can still get into his aesthetic without going all the way up to the $94,000 watch, the $80,000 watch, the $30,000 watch, the $47,000 watch. And then when you get to these levels, you're still getting really, really amazing watchmaking. And on the secondary market, you find them at really good prices. Sometimes people just have them underpriced because they don't understand what they have and what they're selling. All right, let's check out the Sotheby's sale that closed today. Yeah, this morning, or they started to close this morning. And of course, you got the FP Journe goodie set, $14,000 for a cap. a screwdriver, a loop, and a polishing cloth. Watch to a kit by F.E. Jordan. That's so funny. $14,000. A table clock, the table alarm clock, also for $14,000. I think I just sold one of these for like under 10. Very interesting. Rolex ashtray, and is that a lighter? I think I would have probably bid on that if I felt that. Ooh, a Rolex briefcase. I like that. And a wallet. $2,000. A Rolex necklace. Oh, interesting thing. Let's kind of speed through this. One thing about the auction at Sotheby's and even some of the others, a lot of just modern stuff here that aren't super duper crazy. 5036 I do like. White gold GMT, nothing crazy. Zenith Daytona, two-tone, didn't hit the reserve. Yellow gold Zenith for 21,000. Somebody got a decent deal there. Let's look at the long A's. We got long one Daymatic, 40,000. So right at the top of the estimate there. I like this Breguet. Oof, really good deal, 20,000. That was a good deal there. I actually know the person who got this piece. I think they got a great deal on this. Parmigiani Fleury, Tonda Tourbillon, Yoshida Boutique Special, full set, 44.8. The retail on this probably was close to 100. So for that price all in, even plus the tax, I think it's a steal to get just a really cool watch you're not gonna see every day. Thomas Burnett says Zeitwinkel are fantastic. I met Albert Edelman and Peter, who run the company, and their sapphire female watches are some of my favorite watches that do hidden skeletonization by using colored glass. I gotta get my hands on more of the Zeitwinkels. I haven't spent enough time there. I'm gonna pull them up though. This is Zeitwinkel. What is up, Goldfinger? Good to see you, brother. Hope all is well in paradise. Good to see some old faces here. I'm gonna start streaming more regular, guys. We're gonna call it the wind down with CQ the watch guy. And basically it's gonna be me after work. So let's say anywhere from 5 to 6, I'll start and I'll go, probably 10, I'll go until 7. I'll do an hour depending on how the group's feeling. But just a little afternoon show. So here we're looking at the Zeitwinkels. Can I see all your watches? Good sir, Zeitwinkel. Movements, prices. No, I just want to see the watches. I did something. I'm sorry. I think it's because is the. I just want to see the watches. All right, let's just do this. Let's see if we can find. There we go. My friends are collective Florology album. So yeah, I think they're doing just amazing jobs with those colored tinted sapphires. I think they're really fun watches, and it's attacking an aesthetic that the high end brands are doing it first, but I think they're really kind of pioneering it in a really good way. What's the price point retail on some of these Zeitwinkels? Or built to order? Come on, I wanna. But yeah, definitely a cool brand. Definitely a watches that I would love to get hands on. I don't believe too many have come through our hands here on the 1916 side. Let's scroll down through the Sotheby's. See a lot of vintage goodies here. Paddock didn't sell. A lot of diamond goodies. Ooh, nice little nugget. Pepita. A lot of vintage goodies. Nothing too super duper exciting to me. I remember. Yeah, tons and tons of the Rolex here. If you look at a good price. A lot of Breguet's hitting the lower estimate. I thought Breguet was having a bit of a comeback. I don't know. Look at this thing. Beautiful diamond case Woodard Turb, 3358 Classique. There. Yeah, something, I don't know, there's like a power surge or something that makes my mic turn off every once in a while. I'm gonna get the tech issues figured out. I'm gonna get it figured out, gang. All right, I'm not seeing. I just want to see more watches. How do I see more? All right, but I want to thank you guys for joining me today. If you have any specific questions, anything you want me to talk about, do let me know. I'll just scroll through to see if there's anything. A lot of interesting watches not hitting their reserve. Pyramid Dial Data 18038 did not get sold. Sotheby's don't have the magic like Phillips, man. Phillips Box and Russo, they just it's a show. You can watch it like a TV show, and they just get the numbers. They just get the buyers. Yeah, but a whole lot of nothing too sexy to my eyes. Even though I do enjoy vintage, but nothing. Not feeling like boring you guys with. All right, let's look at some new releases before we get out of here. I don't even know if I want to talk about this watch. Raymond will release an integrated bracelet watch, and I really don't like that they did it. I don't think this watch needed to exist. I love Raymond Wheel. I think they're one of those interesting independents, especially in their price point, which is like under 4,000. That was doing really good things, especially with the Millissime collection. Really, really good watches, solid price point, things that sold. And now we have like a baby engineer knockoff, engineer knockoff, and like it's not a horrible looking watch. It's just not what I was looking from Raymond Wheel. Actually, the more I look at it, it's a decent looking watch, but it's again I don't know if this is something that I needed from them. I didn't need. It's not individual enough for me. I'm sure there's a tribute. There's a watch that they maybe made in the past, blah blah blah, that they can pay tribute to. But I think maybe this isn't. I'm tired of integrated bracelet models from a lot of watches that don't give me enough of a different. 1795 Swiss franc stainless steel, the bicolors 1895. So not a crazy price point, and honestly, not horrible watches. They just it's hard for me to like not see like vintage entrepreneurs here. And yeah, not for me. And I love the brand. I'm a big fan of the brand, but not for me. I'm sure these will sell well. The price point's good on them, but give me more Millissime pieces. Pretty please. That's all that's all I'm asking for. What else did I see that I really liked? Go shoot original 70s chronograph XV limited edition. I love these 70s chronographs. I think Go shoot original is just an amazing value proposition brand. They do a lot of in-house things, a lot of bang for your buck, and the price point isn't crazy. So here we have a chronograph, big date. This is the auto counter for the chronograph, am I right? Then you have a power reserve there. So you have a lot of functions. You have a lot of complications going on in a really unique package. Not for everybody, but the 370s, they've done in a lot of different dials, a lot of colorful ones, a lot of simple ones that I really enjoy. But this kind of panda style, I would buy this piece. This is probably the 70s. Like, look at that. In the sunshine, I love that watch. So this is one that's going to be on my list. 17, €1. Not what I pay for it, but definitely a cool watch that I'm going to look for on the secondary market. After I get a CQ, I gotta get a CQ or else he'd be blasting me, right? Thomas Burnett, CQ, someone was mentioning to me today that he thought that Terry Stern was only really holding on at Paddock to please his dad and thought that the brand could possibly get sold. What is your take? Anything is possible. Anything is possible. But why would you? Right? If you really look if you really look at what Paddock is, right? It's just as a business, it's an amazing business that no matter what you say about Cubitus and this and that, they're selling watches, they're doing their thing. They're still well respected. They're still up there in terms of quality, prestige. I'm just talking to our inventory director today, and we were mentioning how all the brands, the boxes are getting less expensive. Their pouches now, their travel cases. Paddock still gives you that big old wooden box, baby. They want you to feel the luxury. And the Stern family is probably very well to do. Just on the distribution side. So remember, they have this, they own everything, the distribution, the company. I think the bank account is pretty healthy. I think their revenue is pretty healthy year over year, and I think that the Arnault family from LVMH has probably offered enormous amounts, truckloads of money to them before, and maybe Terry didn't want to do it, when his dad was there. But I just don't see the need, right? He says his kids still want he says his kids want to be involved in the operation, so I don't think there's not a burning need for him to listen. If he needs $1 billion, he could just pump out Nautilus, right? He could pump out sports pieces. He could pump out Aquanauts. He could send a directive down to the brands that, or to the ads, to sell sports watches and deliver a bunch of sports watches, and then he could produce capital. So I don't think he needs to, and he doesn't seem to be somebody to me who isn't happy, right? He seems happy. He seems passionate. So I don't think so. Anything's possible, and I'm not nowhere near privy to those conversations. But I'd feel like now this is also something that he's kind of grown up doing. This is really truly the family business, right? And to me, and if I was in his shoes, it would be very, very hard unless the newer generations really told me, hey, not don't want to be a part of the brand. There was no like leadership there. I felt I could leave the brand to that would steward it well. Then maybe, but I just don't see that. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and I hope not. I love them being a truly independent entity. If they were to sell, I would hope they sold to Chanel Group or something like that. Somebody who's gonna really not touch them too much, let them do their thing, but also who would be the successor beyond Stern to really steward the brand the way you want it to be stewarded. That's a very, very tough situation to try to get into there. I don't know. That's a wait and see if there ever was one. Oh yeah, we got other watches today. We got a new Yuli Snarden Freak on a bracelet. So I'm in the camp of I like a Freak without a crown. I thought the Freak X was good because it did get a lot of people into the brand, especially at the original price points of the Freak X series. I don't know what's going on, Ben 10. Hope all is well. I love the new movement on the micro over here. Again, with just like with the Raymond wheel, I don't know if I needed a Freak on a bracelet, right? It just seems like it's a cool watch, but I just don't know if I needed it, right? When I think about UN, I think about so many different models beyond just the Freak. So it's like, I don't know. Ben 10 says, good afternoon, everyone. What's on the wrist? Let's do a quick little wrist shot today. I have Seiko 5, Seiko 5 Arabic dial, gifted to me by a very good friend from the Middle East. It's always a good luck charm I like to wear. Um, Let us know what you guys have on the wrist. I just don't like the price. I'll be honest. I think these are interesting. I think I like them. Not so sure about the bracelet. Need to see it in person, but watches are just so expensive. 33.5 Swiss franc on the leather strap. 34.5 on the metal bracelet. So nearing 40,000. I just watches are pricey, man. I'd love to see this in the 20s, but I also understand that you gotta UN is definitely positioning themselves for a higher end client. So let's see how these do. I do like that the Freak is getting more modernized. I would love for us to see a Freak without a crown again, though. That's for sure. Ben 10 says I'm wearing my Piaget Auto circa 1970s. Love it. I love the comeback that Piaget is getting. My camera's a little hot, so let that cool off. Oh, there we are. Now we're back. Love to see what Piaget is getting. What else do we have that was fresh? We got a new Moser. Sizzling hot colors of the H. Moser and C Pioneer Center Second Sunberry. So I love the purples that Moser do. So I'm a fan of this one. I do think we need to start. We need more than just a rubber strap with the watches. It's always been this is like a long complaint with me and Moser. I love a good rubber strap, but I do think imagine like a funky like fabric textured strap that goes along with this. I think this is a beautiful purple. I think with the strap, you're gonna have to coordinate a little bit, or maybe take it off the strap and put it on something else. There have been full purple dial pieces before, not in the Pioneer case, but I think this is a cool watch. And 18.3 Swiss francs, a little right at 20, or just under $20,000. Ain't mad at it. I think it's a cool piece. Van Moser continues their trend of just kind of giving us wowing colors in the Pioneer collection. Did we talk about the Vermonts? Here, let's just talk about the Vermonts. Here's some Vermonts. I don't know how I feel about Vermont, just because my love for Vermont is tied so much to the Vermont with the propellers, the English brothers Vermont, the Mike Pearson way back when Vermont. So it's hard for me to look at Vermont today and like see it as the same company. It's different companies. I guess that's how I should think about it. So it's hard for me to judge them. I actually was handling one. I was convinced on one, the Terra Nova Black on a bracelet, that I thought was enjoyable. These aren't bad watches. These aren't bad looking watches. Again, because of my love for the original Vermont company, I just don't know how to feel about them. But I do think they're getting better. The price point isn't crazy. I just want to know what's our direction here. What's our direction, and what are we gonna do? And I think they need to quickly go back to very cool limited editions, a tie-in aviation. I see they have the Martin Baker ejection cord there. I don't know. I don't know. Oh no. What I lose my spot. Thomas Burnett says, well, first he's wearing his Brigade Class Eek 7147 BB with the white Grand Fu enamel dial. That's a gorgeous, gorgeous watch. He also said, I love the Super Freak that was released this year. A great tribute to Ludovic. I can't say it. An original Freak from 25 years ago. Did I miss the Super Freak? I've been so out of touch for a while, guys. Had a lot of different things going on and kind of take a step away from the watch world. So there are some watches that I missed. Oh, yes, there we go. Yes, I did see this. And I did like this as well. And this, back, I love um I love high end freaks. I think a freak was always meant to be in a higher end format, in a higher end case, and it should be pushing the envelopes of watchmaking, because that's what the original freak did, was push the envelope of watchmaking. Then, and the original designs and the original designs of the freak actually won. I always forget her name, but the amazing watchmaker, a lot of credit and things like that. Sorry, I'm running on brain fumes right now, so I'm losing a lot of stuff. But anyways, I love the Super Freak. I just look how crazy this watch looks, and that's what the Freak should be. Something without crown, something without a crown, something that really just shows um this is explaining how everything's working, and just a different differential and regulators. And this is, so it's a double regulator, hour minutes, just insanity. And I don't even care what the price is, because this is what Freak was meant to be. I'm quickly scrolling down for the price point. 320,000 Swiss franc. That's what a Freak should be, to be honest with you. Freak was never meant to be accessible, right? I think UN already, does a great job of making accessible pieces, or, so I don't think they need to make an accessible Freak. Let the Freak be a Freak and something that people need to chase after, but is also a flagship for the brand. Thomas Burnett said, the most complex time-only watch of this year's Watches and Wonders, 591 parts. Wow. Wow, amazing. Amazing, amazing. I need to do more. I need to watch a Tim video about this watch. I definitely did not see, but this is sick. This is what I want to see from Elise Chardin. Keep it up. Keep it up. Vima says he likes the new Arnold and Son London Skyline. I do enjoy that watch as well. And Arnold and Son had a few different drops. Let's see if monochrome watches has it. Pardon me. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful watch here. Limited edition of the London Skyline, and just a beautiful, beautiful motif. How did it do the dial? Is it? 20-piece limited edition. I think that cloudy skyline is just beautiful. You get it in steel, you can get it in red gold. I just want to see. Look at the loom. Oh, that loom is lovely. Look at that. Walk with your black light. Walk with your black light. This is gorgeous. I love this from Arlen Son. I like them doing things like this. I just want to see. This is crazy how they apply that to the dial. Gorgeous, gorgeous watch. Great pick, Vimal. I think if you're from London or even not from London, you can appreciate this watch. I probably do steal on this, but this is gorgeous. And look, 15,000 sterling. Great. 15,000 pounds for steel, 23,500 pounds in rose gold. I actually think that's a great price for the type of watch and a special edition is in. So kudos to Arnold and Son making a cool, cool piece. And then they also the sister company of Arnold and Son released some new monopusher chronographs, Angelus. If you're into that medical chronograph, these are super duper cool. Those vintage style chronographs, not for everybody, but I really like this black one. Really, really enjoyable piece, and good to see them kind of keeping their vintage roots alive and keeping down that part. This UR 120 blue Blue Planet is really cool too. I thought, I love a good Spock, and a blue Spock I thought was just gorgeous with the gold there too. Really, really good looking watch. What else? Oh yes, MBNF gave us just an amazing. Can we play a video? Let's try to play the video. Just this amazing robot companion piece, and I love it. MBNF is one of those that I think in the age of independence and like so many speculative brands, they kind of get lost because they just do really funky stuff that not every watch is for everybody. Not every watch is meant for everybody. And he's just there to push these really amazing designs and amazing design language and doing things like this where you have a full on one of his clocks, which is a robot with the watch, and it all goes inside. The head of the robot is the clock. A really well done watch as well. And just gorgeous piece, and it goes right on top. And I thought, again, a watch that doesn't need to exist, but I'm glad it does exist. And it's, I believe, around $400,000 worth it. Not for everybody again, but if you got the scratch, I'd rather spend it on something like this that's truly fun and imaginative versus something that could look like 20 other watches out there. So this is the MBNF HM12, the Guardian. Look at this thing. This is cool. Thomas Burnett said, I never thought of Arnold and Son doing a rare handcraft style piece. Interesting. I didn't think of them doing it either. When I first saw it, I was like, very interesting that they're doing this type of watch. But I'm glad that because it's a space, right? I'm just gonna go back really quickly to the Arnold and Son. This is a great space to, advance in and exploit a little bit. Not exploit, I don't know if that's the right word to take advantage of, right? Exploit, whatever. But a rare handcraft style watch for under 50, 60, $70,000 is amazing. And you're only making 20 pieces. So you can't tell me there aren't 20 collectors who are based in the UK or have roots in the UK or just love the UK for whatever reason who aren't willing to get these watches at that price, right? And I love that because there are many brands out there who take a situation like that, 20 in red gold, 20 in steel, 15,000 GBP in steel, 23.5 in rose gold, both reasonable numbers for Arnold and Son as well. Many brands would make these just crazy price watches and it'd be 60,000 and they put unnecessary things on there and unnecessary miniature paintings that you do have to pay the equivalent to like Anita Porcher a lot of money to do. But I love this. Make watches people can get. I think every brand could take so much from Longines right now. And my Longines business, not mine, but as a company, the Longines business is up amazing. And when you talk to other retailers, their Longines is just killing it. Why why are they killing it? They focused on their price segment, while all these other brands kind of went over. Tag even went more expensive. Tudor, all the brands that were kind of in that 3,500, 2,500, 4,000, they're all kind of inching their way upward. Longines, of course, they'll give you a little bit of a pricier watch, but they never stopped making that good $2,000, $1,500 up to $3,000 watch, and just evolved their catalog, and now they're just doing great because they're making amazing watches that people can actually get their hands on. And I think when we think about pieces like this that are rare handcraft style, or special editions, miniature drawings and stuff like that, we often like, I want to kill this Mac. I don't know what is making it like so every 10 minutes it just blinks on me. But there is a when we think rare handcraft or watches like this, we often think close to six figures. So to see something like this very, very far away from six figures, I love that. And I think Arnold and Son did a really good job, and more brands should focus on making really good watches at more accessible price points than making super duper high end, hard to get watches that you're not ready for as a brand. You're not. I don't know if that makes sense, because Arnold's going to sell high end pieces, but you need to create a better on ramp. Like, look at this. MBNF doesn't need an on ramp. They have enough tribe members, so they can make a. Let me just confirm the price here. So they can make a. Oh, it's not 400,000. A 280,000 Swiss franc watch, robot robot watch, and sell them and have no problem in selling them, because they've already proven it. They've already proven what they can do, and they've been around for quite a long time. Arnold and Son has too, but it's just a different thing. I think it'd be good. Look at the back of this watch. It's gorgeous. I just want to see watches people can get, and it's okay to have these type of watches, but not every brand needs to make watches where the very, very few can afford them or even want to get into them as well. All right, 7 o'clock. I'm gonna give you guys 5 more minutes. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'm gonna keep this going. Anytime I don't have event or anything going on, I'm gonna pop in at least for 45 minutes or an hour. We could talk about whatever I want to talk about, whatever you guys want to talk about. But you guys are the bomb. Let's see. Let's do one more watch. Oh, somebody asked me what is one of my favorite watches to go on the website, and oh, is it not here? Or did it sell already? No way. No, it didn't. Look at this thing. This thing is gorgeous. I'm gonna end on this watch. Vacheron Constantin Patrimony Chronograph, not Lejeune, Lemania based movement. The same one that you'd find in 5070s and things like that. Beautiful skeleton watch, mid 90s, circa production era. Not for everybody, but I put this thing on my wrist and I melted. I melted like sugar in the rain for this watch. This is just amazing. If you're into like that just gold style and you just want a nice bracelet that you're not gonna find anywhere else, and a really good movement, and something nobody else in the room is gonna have. Really good watch, full set as well, which I thought was pretty cool. Really, really good watch. You see these on the strap, anywhere from 40 to 50. So I think on a gold bracelet that could fit, I dare say, up to a 7.75 interest, which is very, very hard to find in these watches that have these gold bracelets that you gotta get cut. Very, very hard to find. Really, really great piece. And I don't know, man. I always talk to people every day who are looking, like Vimal was at the beginning of the show, for gems that they could find, like what's the new indie. But I do think vintage, neo vintage, special watches, truly special watches, like something like this. It's a legendary movement, Lemania movement. Many, many articles out there saying it's one of the best movements ever made. Legendary movement, VC. So it's top, Holy Trinity brand. Mid 90s, just a great era of watchmaking. You're not gonna see it on the gold bracelet. So there's just a lot of reasons I could sit here and sell you this watch. And there's also a lot of reasons why in an auction this would do very, very well. Not something that sells every day, but pieces like these, truly special pieces, are the pieces I think you can safely bet on retaining value, and you never know. There might be a resurgence of VC collectors. I'm sure a watch like this you could have picked up under 60 not too long ago. So I do think there are a lot of great watches out there if you're willing to hunt a little bit and you're willing to open up your mind, right, and jump into the waters that other people haven't. Remember, some of the people who are extracting just insane profits in the independent market right now, whether it be FP Journe or Crivia, Kari V, anything. There are people who just believed. There are people who just wanted the watches and just like the watchmaker, wanted to support a vision, and then things just kind of happened. Nobody could have really predict the market. I do see we are entering a market where there are much more people who are value focused and investment focused. I do think it's something that as an industry we're not gonna shake off, and it's something that we're always gonna have to kind of think about a little bit. But again, you gotta buy what you love. You buy what you love, you never lose money, because you're gonna enjoy the piece. And I think if we gotta be careful with the speculation. It's your own money, do what you want, but I- you know just be careful. Just make sure you love the watch. As long as you really enjoy the watch, I'm not gonna beat you. But don't come in here asking for advice. Then you buy something and you didn't make you didn't 10x it in a month and then beat me up. That's not what it's about. Thomas Burnett says interesting bracelet reminds me of the full gold Patek Ellipse that was released a couple of years ago. The braided bracelet was stunning. That Ellipse, stunning watch. Haven't seen too many of those, man, with such good looking watches. And the bracelet is very much like that watch. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna wind it down for the day. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will come to you tomorrow. I do know there's an event going on in Ardmore. We have a Rolex certified pre-owned road show, bringing a bunch of RCPO pieces to the Ardmore location just over in California. So I might pop out there, or I might just come and talk Rolex with you here. I think I might talk with you guys. I kind of like talking with my crew, and maybe have pop out there after. But anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into the Wind Down with CQ the Watch Guy. Hope you guys have an amazing day and an amazing rest of the evening. And I'll see you tomorrow. If not tomorrow, I'll see you very soon. Shout out to Thomas Burnett for being first. No, Thomas wasn't first. Shout out to producer Rimal for being first. Thomas, you were second, number one in my heart always. Shout out to Goldfinger as well, and Ben 10 for jumping in the chat. All right, guys, have a great one, and we'll see you soon.